Hello, Hop Pug High School. It's Joe Whitehorse here. I'm sitting in the Commons here on Friday morning, and we're pumped to have you all back on Tuesday. We saw a lot of you yesterday, and the purpose of this video is for driver education, and I'm going to address two separate buckets of that. First are students that would like to take driver's ed in the future. We don't have any current plans to run a future cohort or a new cohort. Because we have to finish and help the students that were interrupted in the spring. So most of the information in this video is for the students that were in the spring cohort and are continuing on. So again, if you have not taken driver's ed yet, we don't have any immediate plans to start a new cohort until we're able to help those students finish. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. So I'm going to actually present my screen for most of this video. I'm hoping to keep it short. I know the last one I said was short and it was about 7 minutes, so I apologize for that, but I think it's better to get all of the information out there. So either today or sometime early next week, I'm going to share a pretty comprehensive letter that outlines our plan to continue driver's ed. However, here's a rough kind of summary of it. We're going to restart classes for driver's ed the week of September 14th. So not next week, but the following week. And we are only able to resume the classroom portion. Those of you that are in the cohort probably already know, Governor Cuomo finally gave approval for the classroom portion of driver's ed to be completed virtually. So that's how we're going to conduct the classes. The driving portion, which I'll also get to in this video, can be conducted through the supervision of a parent or guardian or supervised driver, licensed driver of some kind. So we'll focus most of this on those two buckets here, and I'll go through what the letter is going to look like. And then if you have any questions afterwards, you can let us know. First thing is that, again, classes will restart on the week of the 14th. So in the spring, if you don't remember what group you were in for lecture, I'll be reposting those schedules on Mr. Trupia's Google Classroom. So in the letter, I'll have a classroom code. You have to make sure that you're in that if you're not already. So basically, if you were on the Tuesday cohort that had class at 2:30, we're going to push everything back a little bit so students can get home after school. So we're going to have classes at 3 to 4:30 and 4:30 to 6 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So there will still be 6 groups and you'll be in the same group, but you'll be doing the lectures virtually. It'll take, I think we have 9 more sessions left because you did 2 distance learning sessions when we first closed down, and we'll be able to count those now. So you have 9 sessions left for the classroom portion. Let me present my screen so that I can walk you through the letter. So I'll be talking in the background. You might see me on the side. Okay, so you should now see my screen. And now I'm in our continuation plan document. So it's a 4-page document that I'll be sending out either today or early next week. So it's addressed to everyone. And here I'll highlight the 2 main points from Governor Cuomo's ruling. We are able to conduct the lecture part online, and the driving portion has to be done with a supervised driver. So all the information is in this letter. The first section talks about the lecture classroom requirements. So as you know, we have a requirement to have 24 in-class hours. All students before the schools closed down finished 7.5 of those hours, so they still have to finish 16.5. That can be done in 11 sessions. But again, we did 2 sessions virtually when school closed down, and now we're allowed to count them. So we're going to be going from the week of September 14th for 9 straight weeks to finish this out. And basically, the way that classes will run, they'll be run on this Google Classroom with this code. And I'll be posting the groups that you fall into for classes. If you have questions or concerns about the lecture schedule, you'll have to contact Mr. Trupia because those are pretty locked in. They're the same as they were when classes were actually open in the spring. One thing that I'll highlight is that when we're in person, normally if you're absent, you have to make up that class in person another day. Now, if you're absent for any reason, you'll be able to make up the classroom portion during any of the other sessions that are offered. But you have to make sure that you finish out the required number of hours. All right, so that's the classroom portion. The next portion of my letter is about the in-car driving requirements, and this requires a little bit of discussion because even though we would love to have you continue with Fitzgerald Driving School, regulations only allow one student per car, so we can't manage that. It's not possible for Fitzgerald or for us to be able to do. So we are following the state guidelines where you can finish the 24 hours. You'll be doing 24 hours with a supervised driver. And basically the way it works is we're going to be having whoever supervises you fill out this checklist, and there's 2 links to it in the letter. So it's a teaching your teen to drive checklist. There's a lot of information at the beginning of the document, just about some protocols and resources. And then the following pages show the checklist. So there's basic skills, there's intermediate skills, and you have to practice all of them, and your parent or guardian or supervisor has to check off that you did them. And then there will be an affirmation at the end. So that's the driving portion, and it has to be for 24 hours. And that's, again, handed down from the state. It allows you to finish driver's ed within the 9 weeks. So if I were you, I would practice, make a point, since we're going to be finishing the classroom portion over 9 weeks, try to do 2 to 3 hours per week so that by the end of the classroom portion, you can also hand in your driving form and you'll be able to get your driver's ed certificate, which leads me to this section here. So the driver ed certificate is called the MV285. And once we can certify that you completed the classroom portion and that you completed the driving requirement with that form, you'll be issued that driver ed certificate. And again, it's just pass fail. So you either get the certificate or you don't. And really, if you complete the hours, you complete the work that Mr. Trupia assigns, and you do the driving, you'll be in good shape. The last thing I want to bring up in terms of sections here are refunds. I'm going to be editing this whole section here. This is more for your parents than it is for you, unless you paid for it yourself. But since you are not finishing the driving portion with the driving school, we'll be able to refund you for whatever fraction of the driving portion that was incomplete. So that number is still being calculated. I'm not exactly sure what it'll be yet, but there will be a refund of some kind for the driving portion of the driver's ed program. All right, so then the last page of the document, it's a liability waiver. And this basically has to be signed by whoever's supervising you. Because since we are not overseeing the driving portion, it's a waiver that, while you're driving, we are not held liable. And we're not the ones training you on the driving, so it makes sense. So you'll print this out. We'll have hard copies available as well. And you have to hand this in sometime in the next couple weeks so that we have it, so that you can begin your driving training. So that's it. I don't have any other major details to go over. The major thing and the major hurdle is that we're able to resume. I'm going to stop presenting. We're able to resume our program and get our students on the road by, mid-November, which is very good for most of you. So again, if you're 17 and you're in the driver's ed program and you're looking to get your senior license, you'll be able to do so once you finish driver's ed in November. Those of you that want to take driver's ed in the future, we'll look to formulate that kind of plan once we get the spring students up and rolling and finishing them off. So that's it. That's our the summary of the plan for driver's ed. Again, I'll kick out this letter either today or sometime early next week. But check out the classroom. Again, I will show the code one more time. Most of you are in the classroom, but some of you might have left when you knew that the program ended in the spring, but you'll need to rejoin. So again, let me zoom in. Okay, the classroom code is 07EYU2S. Make sure, students, that you're part of that. Parents, you can't join because you're not in the HOPOG system, but if students are part of it, they'll get all of the posts and they'll be able to join any class that Mr. Trupia runs. And again, it's all through Google Meet, and you have to be on camera and ready to go when you have your scheduled time. So I'll stop presenting one more time, and I'll just say, thank you for bearing with us. It's been frustrating for us not to be able to continue, and I know it's been frustrating for you not to be able to get on the road, but we're looking to get this started as soon as possible on the week of the 14th so that you can be driving soon. So if you have any questions until then, let me know. Let Mrs. Sirico know. Reach out to Mr. Trupia, and I can't wait to see you all next week. See you later.